Hi Talk family, and welcome back to another episode of Talk the Talk. I'm your host. My name is Desh, Pillay, Bechan, and today we're joined by a dynamic leader whose dedication keeps one of South Africa's most trusted mobility brands moving forward. She is the incredible Ilse Venter, and she's the fleet manager at Europcar. So, with a sharp eye for detail and a deep passion for operational excellence, Ilse plays a key role in keeping the wheels of the fleet turning smoothly. Her journey in the industry is one of consistency, resilience, and quiet strength. I have met her now just for a few minutes. She's been nominated by Ilse Venter, who is a leading person in his industry respectively, and I think it's so phenomenal that her husband had gone through the entire process of nominating his wife and recognizing her ability and strength within another trade, a trade that he is not in. No. And we want more husbands like this, more husbands of women in the industry to recognize these strengths. Ilse's leadership reminds us that true impact often happens behind the scenes, and it's driven by those who show up, stay the course, and lead with purpose. So thank you, Charles, for nominating Ilse. We have over 4,000 nominations this year. Ilse is not just a semi-finalist. I just gave her the news. She is a finalist. She is going to receive an award.
Thank you.
So let's give a warm welcome to Ilse Venter. And as always, this episode is proudly brought to you by Seriti Solutions and MFC, a division of Nedbank. Hello, Ilse Venter.
Hello, Desh. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
My God, like it's the first time, as I said to you, that a husband of a woman that have been serving this. In fact, I never said it, but I think it's 24 years.
Correct.
So it's almost, it's more than 2 decades.
Correct, yeah.
And your husband is such a champion, and it's these type of men that we love to associate ourselves with, men that are catalysts for this positive transformation for women.
100%.
And when a man is not, your husband is in stationery, right?
He's in the IT industry.
Okay, so he's the CTO of PNA.
Correct, that's correct.
Okay, that sounds like a big title to me. So, he's a respectable figure.
Yes.
In his industry, and when this nomination came through, I felt it is that, and that's not the reason that we put, that you are literally in the finals. It went through an entire vetting process like all our finalists do, but yours was quick because it was the amount of years you served in the industry, and also because this is an example, like I said earlier on, of a man that supports his wife, and this is a platform where we want to showcase this. So thank you, Charles, again, and thank you for accepting the nomination and utilizing our platforms to empower other women, because that's what it's all about.
Yes.
So I thank you so much before we even start to get to know you. So yes, I am so excited about our journey, our future together, because usually all the women that ends up in the finals, we continue. For 7 years I have had ladies that were in the finals that still pay it forward and still collaborate with us. Yes. I look forward to an amazing relationship with you.
Thank you.
Okay, so tell our viewers more about yourself, about your position. What do you do?
So, like you've said, I've been in the car rental industry for 24 years. I started as a youngster, 20 years old, giving my age away here a little bit. But I was so blessed to have someone that believed in what she saw in me, and I'm a firm believer in, you just work hard, and you will get where you need to be in life. And so at the moment, I'm the fleet manager at Europcar. I look after the full fleet for Motus car rental division.
Okay. So Europcar is a division of Motus.
Correct.
Okay.
So it forms Europcar Tempest and then the Europcar van rental.
Okay.
So I don't like to say it's me. It's always a team behind us.
So how many are on your team?
So it's myself, the GM of fleet, and then there is about 7 or 8 staff members with
And
us.
it's national.
It's national, correct, yes. So we procure all the fleet, de-fleet, lease, whatever for the entire car rental
All right.
business.
Right.
So, you know, it's humbling because you don't always know fleet per se, and you come into an environment and you need to learn. And I always say a day that you don't learn something is a wasted day. It's so important for you to just be a sponge and observe and learn and grow. And that's every area I've been. I started as a junior credit controller, and I've gone through, worked in almost every environment in the car rental industry.
Right.
And that's gotten me to where I am. So
So every time I see Europcar now, because whichever province I go to, I'm blessed enough to get a vehicle from one of my dealer networks, and most of the time, a lot of the time, it is Motors.
Yes.
And then I've got to park my car at Europcar.
Yes.
So I'm gonna I know the fleet manager.
now you know.
And it just dawned on me right now. You are actually the first woman in the 7-year cycle that is from rental. That's
awesome.
in the finals.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, I like a lot of,
Yeah.
well, thank you again, thank you, Charles, because I would not have known.
People
of
don't
you.
always think of car rental as part of the industry, the
Yes,
motor
it is,
industry.
though. It is.
But it's you know, that's part of the cycle as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to buy a car to have a car for your fleet. So.
Correctly. And I mean, then that car goes into the second-hand market, which is again part of the motor industry.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. And there's a lot to learn. In fact, you literally giving me content now, because we write as well for
Yes.
Avo by Nedbank. So we
Okay.
should talk about
Yes.
some fleet, some content about fleet, and educate people about how it works, and hiring a car, and
Yeah, that'll be
that we
amazing.
can get from
Yes,
you. Oh
that's
my
it.
gosh. So I also would like to know, how do you feel about okay, you told me off screen. You made me feel
That's
very
fine,
special when I asked you, okay, do you know of me? Do I need to tell you anything about me? And you were like, no, I know you. I'm a fan. And yeah, I just felt very, very special. Thank you for following me, and thank you for knowing me.
I think it's such a great initiative.
Right.
You know, your story, like I just said, it's such an amazing story that you've taken something that would break most people, and you are making it such an empowering thing. You've turned it around, and you've said, this is not going to define me, it's not going to stop me. I'm going to turn it around into something positive, and I'm going to make something so amazing from it. And it's so inspiring.
You're going to
I
make
love
me cry.
stories.
I'm going to ask
No.
you for a tissue.
Luckily, you've got a whole box of them.
whole box of them. But thank you.
It's so amazing. I'm a firm believer in, life isn't always roses and nice stuff. And sometimes we get so stuck in that negative and looking into the bad stuff that happened to us. But you need to look beyond that and say, what am I going to do about it? What is the next step? Am I going to sit and sulk in that and let that define me? Or am I going to make it something beautiful? What am I going to learn from this and take it next? And that is exactly what you've done. And that is why it's so important for me to follow you and your initiative and see what you've done in the industry.
Thank you.
So
thank you. I was just
love it.
telling my cameraman now that I posted something about GBV on Tuesday.
Yes.
And that's because I received a call on Monday night asking me, finally, they want to make a decision to move out of their relationship, and because they feel that this is the weekend that their husband is going to kill them.
Wow.
So on Tuesday, I posted that video, and then I had a person that posted on my commented on my post saying, why do you have to bring up these videos at these times of the year when it's so special, but these times of the year, like Easter and Christmas time, and long weekends, it's our busiest time as counselors. And you're just saying to me, I listen and I follow your content because it empowers me. And I went back onto the post and I saw, my God, there's 1,400 views on this.
Yes.
So because we do feel attacked. When we put things on, we put our life on a public platform, we feel so attacked and so trolled by these people that are actually the culprits of GBV.
Yes.
And I looked at the views and I said to my cameraman, now if 2 of that 1,500 views are going to remove themselves this weekend from...
It's a win.
It's a win.
It's a win.
It's a win. So thank you so much for just validating that what I'm doing is still necessary.
It is, 100%.
Thank you. So as much as I have changed my life around and like I have decided that I was going to turn it into a positive, I'm sure you have faced a similar, or not a similar, but challenges where you could have like throw up your hands and say, I'm done. But you didn't.
Definitely.
Have there been times, and how did you find the strength?
I mean, there's always, I think as women, in especially in our industry, you'll always be faced with, you can't do it. Or a simple example is in 2020 with COVID, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And one of the triggers for that is stress. And it's so easy in
Were
business.
you only diagnosed in 2020?
Only in 2020. And I was quite lucky because I was diagnosed very early before it's done any damage or whatever. And the neurologist said to me, you need to control your stress and you need to control this and that. And, you know, I made a conscious decision that yes, I will do that, but I will not let the disease define me. So yes, I control it, but I control how much I can take and how much I can't.
Yes.
And something like that just says to me, you are in charge of your body, you're in charge of your conditions, your circumstances. And I mean, I could have easily gone back to work and said, you know what, I can't handle this, I can't handle that, put me in a cushy job. But I didn't. I said, I will still do this. I will still study. I've done 2 qualifications after that, after I was told, oh, you sure the stress won't be too much? And I'm, you know, much to my parents' dismay, I've always been that child where they said, if you can't do something, I will prove harder that I can. And I mean,
I don't think it's to their dismay. I really don't think.
So, you know,
I think they're very proud of you.
I always tell my daughter, you know, challenge status quo.
How many kids do you have?
I've got 2. I've got a 22-year-old, 23-year-old son, and then I've got a 14-year-old daughter. And they keep me busy, as you can imagine.
The bigger the get, the bigger the problems.
100%.
That is so true. I'm learning that.
100%.
I have a 19 and 16-year-old.
Yes.
My God, these teenage years, sometimes
No.
I just wish they were back in
The terrible
diapers.
twos never end. They just accumulate.
It's forever. And I love them.
No.
But we were talking about your role. So you're obviously passionate about what you do. And that's what, I think that's what gives you the resilience and the strength and the courage and the zest. So what do you enjoy most about your role?
I think the fact that it's such a fast-paced area. It's no day is the same. Every day is different. But I love the fact that whatever decisions we make, and I say we once again because it's not just me or just my GM, we make all decisions as a team. But whatever we make, even though it's right at the beginning, it affects the customer.
Right.
If the customer is satisfied with the car, if it's safe for the car, for the client, it has such an impact on the bottom line.
Yeah.
And it can change in a heartbeat. I mean, seasonality, weather conditions, anything can change in our business. And you have to be so on top of it. No 2 days are the same.
I'm sitting here just realizing now how important your role is. Because all of those fancy vehicles I see parked at the airport, at Europcar's bays, you are handling that fleet, right?
Correct.
Oh my God. Okay, so I never ever have to rent a car, and that is why I've never thought about this, because wherever I go, I'm so blessed to get a vehicle. I'm going to Dubai in June. I'm getting a car. I'm going to Vegas in June. Oh shucks.
So spoiled.
But I'm representing Africa in Vegas again for the 2nd time this year. I'm getting a vehicle. So I never have to rent. Yes. But there are people that need your vehicles and that are using Europcar. I think you might be one of the biggest in South Africa. You're in Tempest and you're the same, right?
Correct, yes.
Do you have, oh my gosh, you handle Tempest as well.
Correct, yes.
Oh my word, okay. That's a big role. Okay. Until people sit here and talk to me, I do not actually realize like you know, if it's an F&I or receptionist, so if I've interviewed ladies from the wash bay, I just think
every
we are
role
all
is
equal.
important.
Absolutely.
Every role plays a part to that bottom line.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make sure that the car is washed in time, or bought in time, or delivered in time, or the correct car is bought. I mean, you can buy this group and it might not be what we need at that specific time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, in this entire role and in your career, your life, personally or professionally, who's inspired you and why?
Wow. So I've been so privileged to have so many amazing women in my life. So, of course, my husband, you know, he's been my support.
He's not a woman.
He's not a woman.
Okay.
He's not a woman.
I just want to clarify that.
You know, he's been such a support. You know, years ago when I started at Europcar, we had a CEO called Angela Shackelford.
Okay.
And every year at our year-end function, she would actually thank the spouses for, you know, being a spouse of a car rental person is hard. You know, it's the hours, it's the time, it's the effort that goes behind it. So he's always been my support no matter what, you know, even when the days when I feel, you know, it's enough now, he's there for me. But I've been privileged to have a lot of women in my life that have shown me the way. My mom, you know, she's late now, but you know, she's from day one shown me resilience. You know, no matter what goes on in life, you get up, you show up, you're there.
Yeah. Dress up and you
show up. You know, no matter how bad the day was, my mom was always dressed to the T and she was there. She always showed up. Right. My sister, my faith is very important to me, and my sister was always my rock in that. You know, whenever I felt tired, she was the one that held my hands up and she was like, we will pray and we will get through this and whatever. My daughter is
she the 22-year-old?
She's my 14-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if there's ever a reason for me to carry on, it's her, to show that you don't give up no matter what happens in life. You carry on and you show up and you persevere. And I always try to raise her as be independent, be your own woman, be confident in what you do. You know, so she's my everything. And then the reason I got into car rental, my first boss in car rental was a lady called Judy Karam, and she still works with me at Europcar.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for her introducing me...
I don't know where's my pen. There's 2 names you have mentioned. 2 names. I'll get it off the footage. But
I mean, this woman brought me into car rental. She taught me
what does she do now?
She's our pricing manager.
Okay.
She has shown me professionalism. She's taught me build your network, build your brand, build your group. Your persona is so important, you know. Always be so humble and friendly and build a persona that people will remember and people will always come back and help you.
Yeah.
And that is so important. That's always carried me right through my career and my life.
And we need these women
we
to
do.
And that is why one of my hashtags everywhere is women empowering women.
100%.
Because we can't do it without each other, and we can't expect our counterpart or male counterpart to
fix the crown.
Exactly. And if we are the change and we behave in a manner where we support each other, then our male counterpart will support us.
Yes.
But we can't expect that if we don't do it for each other.
No.
So thank you to the 2 ladies. I've already forgotten the names, but I'm going to get you to follow me and have 2 more followers. And even get you all in the studio with me. So Ilse, I mean, you know, you're definitely a seasoned professional because your role is few and far between. There's not many rental companies as big as yours. So what can you offer to our junior ladies that are going to follow in your footsteps, and you know, how can you help them navigate potential challenges?
I think the first piece of advice I'd like to give is own your space with confidence.
Okay.
You know, you're going to be told, you know, it's not necessary for your comment. It's not, we don't want to hear your comment.
Hold it, let me go back. Own your space with confidence. I love that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, make yourself heard. Even if they don't want to hear it. have your perspective heard, your ideas heard, even if it's not listened to at that point, but someone will hear it.
We just talked about that. We just talked
Someone
about
will
it.
hear it, you know. Don't ever second guess yourself, even if it's an uncomfortable space. Own it. Be confident in it. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. You know. The second one, like I've been taught with Judy, is build your network early. Even in the days when you feel, you know, oh, maybe I'm just not right for this, you should have a group of women or people that will say, you've got this. Even on the way here, I had a bunch of messages that said, you've got this, girl, you know, have an
You're
awesome
making
day.
me feel like literally so famous.
But, you
Because
know,
people know you're coming here.
But I mean, it's for,
Were you nervous?
Because I was excitedly nervous,
Okay.
because it's women don't often get the opportunity in the motoring industry to be heard like this, and that is what makes it so special.
So I have to carry on.
You have to carry on.
I need to carry
definitely, definitely. You know, and then I think finally, stay curious. You know, stay curious, keep learning, keep evolving. You'll
Reinvent.
That's it. Keep challenging yourself until you get to the point where you say, this is where I want to be, and then you just keep growing. Create opportunities for yourself.
This is the second time you are going to get me in tears, because it's a challenge. It's a challenge to sit here and you know, it's an exciting challenge.
Yes.
Okay, but sometimes you second guess yourself and you wonder, am I using my time productively?
Yes.
Am I doing is it necessary?
Yes.
You know, because you get trolls now and then, like, enough of your, you know, preaching and enough of, I mean,
Then leave the page.
yeah.
It's a free
So
country.
thank you for
know?
coming here and validating that, because I just need it once for the year, and you've done it for the year for me today. So, so what advice can you give to a woman who actually wants to join the motoring space? Not just, you are in the motoring space in a
Yes.
big way. Now today I've learned that,
Yes.
how big it actually is. Okay, but you need to come prepared when you do enter into the motoring space.
Yes.
This is my 15th year in the journalism part of it.
Yes.
And
Which is also a very male-dominated space.
totally still, I think I'm still,
Apparently women
I'm the
don't know
only-
anything about cars.
and I'm still the only female motoring journalist in South Africa.
Shocking.
With all of these platforms. I'm not the only female motoring journalist, but I'm the biggest platform actually in women empowerment in motoring in the world
Wow.
at the moment. So it is a very scary place to be. It still is scary. People see me on social like you do,
Yes.
like, yeah, this girl's got that. She's got it.
Yes.
But she doesn't have it. Every time you talked about it just now.
Yeah.
You said if you feel uncomfortable,
Have-
just do it, still do
Yes.
it. And I'm uncomfortable all the time, whether I'm dancing in front of the camera or I'm doing a dialogue or a monologue or whatever it is that I'm
Yes.
doing. I am so uncomfortable, but I just do it.
But that's how you grow the best, in that uncomfortable space.
Yes,
If we were
absolutely.
just always in our little comfortable places, we would never grow.
So what would you say
I
to
think
them?
it's go for it with confidence.
Okay.
You know, the motoring industry is still such a male-dominated space. It's still evolving into a space where women are welcomed, and but our voices are valuable.
Yeah.
We have an insight.
Yeah.
We have a different view, and if we don't have ourselves heard, we will never let ourselves be heard. So I think it is, at the end, it's about showing up, being curious, and knowing that there's absolutely a space for us in the motoring industry. Don't let yourself be put to the side.
Yeah.
Be there, show up, show your interest,
Yes.
make a space for yourself. Challenge what is said to be, this is what it is, this is how it'll always be. It's hard when you're in a position and a man is, brought in a position that you thought you were in. That doesn't mean you stop fighting for that role. It doesn't mean you stop and you're like, okay, well, now I'm done. You still make yourself heard. You still do what you do, and you still prove that you are still worth that position, and you are worth being in that role and being in that industry.
I love that. And I mean, it's always said by all the seniors in our industry, the females that I hear, but it's always said in such a different way.
Yes.
And it might resonate with someone in a different way.
Yes.
So thank you, because what you just said really does resonate with me. And I think you are so empowering yourself. You could sit here and do the interviewing. I would never be able to be a fleet manager. Oh my God, I would give all those cars to everybody for free. I would be like Oprah, like, you get a car, you get a car. So now I can't even be in a dealership or in a DP's position. So I'll sit here, but people like you, your voices are so powerful, and I could just sit here and listen to you. In fact, I want to ask you, I know that's the end of our cycle of questions, but I feel like I need to ask you a little bit more, if you don't mind.
No problem, I'm here.
Okay, so because we do have some time. Ilse, we're talking about your challenge that you faced, okay, during 2020, when you were faced with multiple sclerosis.
Yes.
Okay. How did you overcome that news, and firstly, what are the side effects?
Okay.
And how did you overcome?
So multiple sclerosis is a very funny disease, because every person gets affected by it differently. So it basically is your body fighting your body.
Your body fighting your body.
Yeah. So it's an autoimmune disease where the myelin sheath around your nerves basically gets attacked, and it can have multiple effects. Your sight can be affected. You can lose motion in your body. It's a whole different way. Every person gets affected differently.
Were you affected?
Yes, I did lose sight in my one eye for a certain period, but luckily at that point, because we caught it early, there was treatment that we could get.
And when you found out at that point in time, when you lost your sight in the one eye, did you feel at any point in that time like so weak, to a point where like, I'm not going to fight this? I don't want to fight this. I don't have the energy for this.
I think when you have a child,
okay,
to me all along it was, I have a daughter, and no matter what it is, I one day want to be there when she gets married. I want to be there when she walks down the aisle. I want to hold my grandchildren one day.
Okay.
And that was I will not give up, no matter what it is. And that was just how I went through it. And I was, like I said, my faith is one of the things that has always carried me through.
Okay.
And I was like, well, God, you're going to have to hold my hand through this, but we will be fighting this thing. And, I must say, I was very lucky that I got to who I perceive to be the best doctors quick enough, and we got the treatment done. It's a constant. It's not a curable disease, but it's something I have to daily, be very conscious about myself. If I'm in a very stressful situation, I have to control that.
We talked about our age, okay, getting into your 40s. My God, Lord, oh Lord, the amount of pains and aches and getting up in the morning and facing different challenges.
Yes.
I swear to God, I have pains in places I never knew existed in my body, like from the tips of my toes to the top of my head, or which I don't know how to even phrase this, but I'm feeling it like every day. I mean, there's hormonal issues as well, and I'm 40. My God, I'm like going to hit mid-40s soon. Okay, so we're like closer to that side now. So I mean, I really do become negative. I do become negative
it's hard
because
to stay
it's
positive.
so draining. It is so draining. So faith, you said faith. That's one of the things, your daughter.
Yes.
So ladies, we need to do that.
Yes.
We need to find that one thing that is going to drive us. Because I mean, like, I'm in a marriage, like I'm in a relationship for 23 years, married 20 years, and then we have that we need to nurture.
Yes.
Every relationship needs to be nurtured.
That's a woman. You know, we have to play so many roles.
Yeah.
We have to play wife, mom. It's not the days where you stay at home and you just look after the house. You know, you have to be a businesswoman. You have to be a boss. You have to be a friend. You have to be a sister. You have to be an aunt. You have to be all these things. And then at the same time, you still have to have time for yourself.
And also, what people don't understand is that we just evolved.
That's it.
We literally, I think it's we women in motoring or women in the workspace is as young as democracy
100%.
in South Africa.
Yes.
It just happened to us. I spoke to a lady that was working in 1985 in the motoring industry. I think I was only 2 at the age.
I was 4.
At the time, exactly. And she said we were not allowed to wear pants to a dealership if we worked in the dealership.
Yes.
So we're young. We are young in this, in the workspace, not just in the motoring trade, and we have to balance all these roles. It's new to us. Men has always been in the space.
Yes.
So we still, as you said, we're in a very male-dominated area, and it's challenging. But look. Again, you've come through this as the fleet manager. I mean, oh my gosh, like every time I see Europcar now, I'm going to be like, look, I knew it was part of motors, and I kind of know what falls under motors, like, you know, the used car dealerships, like Motor Select and all of that. But I really I never paid attention to rentals and Avis and all of the other. Avis would be your competitor, right?
That's correct.
Okay. But I mean, it's a new space that, not a new space, but we want to reach the masses. Because it's important to empower women.
And there's so many women even in that space.
Exactly. You should have your own awards for rental. I tell commercial all the time, like, there's not enough space for me to award people in commercial because we only have this amount of categories and these amount of positions.
Correct.
But there's so many areas to navigate. So yeah, but thank you for all the extra conversation and extra advice, because I needed it. I'm sorry, but I needed it more than maybe my audience.
Thanks.
I really did, because the travels this year is killing me.
No, thank you for what you do. It's so important for women to have someone to advocate for us. And in such a public space, and for you to make yourself vulnerable in such a space, for women to say, we are worth it, we deserve to be honored and deserve to be awarded, and said, we see you, we hear you. And that is such an amazing space, and that is why I was so honored to be invited to this today and to even just be seen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles. Because was it not for you, I would never have met Ilse, and I just get the most amazing. And when you walked in, I told you that.
And I mean, I was so shocked that it was him that even nominated me.
Like, shame. I mean,
I'll have to make him a nice dinner tonight.
Please do, because I think it's as I said, it's never happened before, but it's an example of how men should honor and recognize what women are doing in the motoring trade and how difficult it is, even if you're not in the trade, because he's not in the trade. So please, like, my husband is also in the IT space, but my God, he's my champion. I mean, I'm sitting with 3 phones, which is just upgraded me, and I am not so technologically advanced. I'm not challenged. I call myself technologically lazy. Okay, so I mean, we're blessed. So thank you. And we are going to conclude with a little game that I play with my guests. Okay, it's a country that has 1 billion people in it, and it's not India. It's Asian.
China?
Yes.
That was an easy one.
Okay, it's a French brand. And I can ask you this question because you don't come from a car brand.
Okay.
Specifically, it's French, not Renault. The other one.
Peugeot?
Yes, Pasha. Okay, so gosh, like that's movies, and I never know how to. Do you know these new? It's not new anymore. These bracelets with the beautiful
Pandora.
Okay. Okay, and then just one more. I never play this. That's why I don't win money, and I always want to win that. What is it called?
Lotto.
There we go. You have to make it just as easy for me.
Okay. So this person creates all the very good cartoons, like the Jungle Book.
Okay.
The company is named after him that creates all these cartoons.
Like it's
an American guy.
Yes. Is it Walt Disney?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. This is a type of jewelry that people wear, and there's actually a gang that steals them.
Watches? Is it what?
It's a type of watch.
So no. Rolex.
There you go.
And a gang that steals. I've heard about that story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's the one day a year that everyone makes jokes on.
April Fool.
There we go.
I'm the biggest prankster. So, yeah. One more.
Okay.
Because you're making me sound very
Oh,
clever.
you see, she's so clever, Then this guy used to have an Afrikaans music show.
Note for note. Okay.
Yeah, he was the guy that used to present it.
Gosh, I know his name. I used to love him. Oh my God, he's so handsome also. Johan.
Yeah, and his surname?
Johan. I am Johan from. Gosh, I can't remember. I'm trying to.
And he used to say, 50 randjie vir jou, 50 randjie vir jou.
Johan. No, I can't get it.
Stem it.
Oh God, but I got that.
You got so many right. Well
I
done.
loved watching him. I used to think he's a very good-looking person.
I thought I had to give you that one because you were like, one call for you, and he used to say, 50 randjie vir
But
jou.
that's all we could watch in our time, right?
Yeah.
Word for word in
Thank you for
Jam
Alley.
Okay, thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming,
Desh.
Ilse. Congratulations on your win. I cannot wait to see what dress you will be on stage
goodness.
with. And I can't wait for our journey together.
Thank you very much.
I know, the manager of Fleet in Europcar. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you. So, ladies and gents and viewers, I know when we look at our views after this is going to be published, we look and we say, oh my God, we've got 800 views on it. But then we go back in 4 years and we see there's 4,000 views on it. And that's because so many women are going to share this and are going to learn from Ilse. So we extend our gratitude to all our viewers for engaging with our content by watching, commenting and sharing our interviews, our non-profit initiatives, including the Motoring Woman of the Year Awards, which is powered by MFC, a division of Nedbank, and the Talk the Talk Studios, which is supported by Seriti Solutions. We focus on honoring and celebrating the women in the African motoring industry, South African motoring industry, but African as well, because we have a lot of women on the borders of our country, like Namibia and Botswana and Zimbabwe and Zambia. You will never believe the nominations or the reach that we have. Yep. And as I said earlier, we are also again this year going to be representing Africa in Vegas. Wow. So that's going to be an amazing reach for us. So our mission goes beyond just storytelling. We strive to make a positive impact. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to just leave you with this. The mind is a powerful instrument, and we just talked about that, how important it is. Every thought and every emotion you create shapes the very chemistry of your body. So it's a tool not everyone fully understands, yet it holds incredible potential. Ask your mind a simple question like, how can I bring more happiness, more joy, more content into my life? And it will offer you dozens of answers in an instant. So the key is where you place your focus. Most people dwell on their problems, but true power lies in focusing on the good. And I just heard a saying this week, well, I didn't just hear it, but I listen to my guru Sadhguru all the time, and he says, if you look for possibilities, you will find possibilities, and if you look for problems, you are going to find problems. So on that note, dear ladies, I would like to remind you that the question should never be who's going to let me. It should always be who's going to stop me. Hey, she's a fan. Thank you.
Thank you.